Hello, I'm DeDe. Over the next 30 minutes, our yoga pose choices will create a demand for and help us cultivate more mobility in our shoulders and arms, as well as our spine and back. You'll need a yoga mat, some water for hydration, and a folded towel. The cat is optional. You probably won't need your shoes or your socks. Around your yoga mat, if you're using one, if you're on a carpeted floor, you might not need a yoga mat, but you will need plenty of space, whether you have a mat or not. And also, you'll need to modify things perhaps. If you do need to do that, make sure that you do. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to skip something, and don't hesitate to take one of my modifications if they work for you. We're coming down. We're going to begin on our back. There's lots of different ways to come down. You choose the one that works best for you. And then we will lie on our back. If you need your folded towel under your head and neck as a pillow, then make sure you put it at the end of the mat or space that you're using where your head's going to go. Otherwise, just leave it off to the side for now. And then we're lying on our back. Make sure if you're using the pillow that it's only under your neck and your head, not under your shoulders. And then we'll stretch out our legs once we're comfortable. Separate your legs and let your toes roll out if that's what they feel like they want to do. So just let your legs totally relax. Our shoulders are away from our ears. And then we'll place our hands, one on the rib cage and one on the navel. I encourage you to close your eyes here and begin to breathe in and out through the nose. If your nose is stuffy, you can take a minute and use a tissue, or you can choose to breathe through your mouth, but it will probably dry your mouth out quite rapidly, in which case you can always get some sips of water. Now turning our attention to where our hands are resting. So as we inhale next, pull the air down toward your hand that's on the navel, and as you fill upward through your lungs, feel your ribs move next, and then your chest expands, and feel the air all the way up into your throat, and then relax and let the air leave your body, hopefully through your nose instead of your mouth. And again, it's belly, ribs, chest, throat, and then relax. Keep that pattern going for a moment. All right, now let's allow our eyes to open. And remember, you're not going to continuously turn your head to look at me. You'll look at me when you need to and keep your head in the center when you don't need to look at me. Let's take the arms down to the sides now. Let's try to keep breathing as if we still had our hands resting on our navel and our ribs. Bend one knee and then bend the other knee and place your feet about hip joint distance apart with your feet even and straight. Make sure your shoulders are down away from your ears and your palms are face down with your arms at your sides. Let's inhale, and on the exhale, push your feet and your arms firmly down and let your pelvis float upward. And then we'll do that again. If you need to look, stop doing it and look at me. And then turn your head back to center and join me. Now you may notice a little extra tension in your neck when your hips are rising. If you are noticing that, take away the towel that's under your head. You don't need it for this if you're feeling that extra tension in your neck. After we're done with this, you can put it back underneath your head and neck. Now let's see if we can push down with our feet and our arms even more. As we exhale, we're lifting the hips a little higher. Make sure that your knees are staying in line with your ankles. Your knees shouldn't be any wider than your ankles. Try to keep your spine neutral as you lift. So we're not going for a huge amount of back bend, just a neutral spine. And one more of these bridge lifts. And then we'll come down. Now we take the arms out to the sides. Now they don't have to be straight out like this. They can be further down. Straight out is good if it's comfortable though. Keep your knees bent. Separate your feet a little wider than your shoulders. Inhale. As you exhale, your knees go to one side and your head turns opposite. And then we'll go back and forth. So the feet stay on the ground. We're just rolling from inner edge to outer edge. So if you can move your arms further up in line with your shoulders, do that. If they were down here, see if you can move them up to here now. Keeping your shoulders flat against the ground, even while our knees are going all the way over. All right, now we're going to let the knees go to one side and we'll keep them there, turning the head to the opposite side gently and just staying here for a moment and trying to relax and let gravity pull downward on our body. Keep your breathing going. And then on your next inhale, come back to center, and then we'll exhale over to the other side, and we'll stay there. All right, inhale to the center. And on the exhale, we'll take the arms down to our sides. This time the palms face in. And then we'll walk the feet close together. Straighten your left leg out. Raise your arms up with your palms facing in. Inhale. On the exhale, your right leg pulls in. Grab the back of your thigh, pull. Now both legs are straight and resting on the ground. Your arms sweep up as you inhale. And then your other leg comes in as you exhale. You might want to flex your feet on both sides. You might want to straighten your knee a little bit more as it comes in, and you might want to take your arms a little further overhead. There's absolutely no obligation to do that. That's an option for you. Inhale and stretch. Exhale. And stretch. Shoulders and torso stretching, and then hamstrings and maybe glutes and low back stretching. We have 2 more. Reach, extend as you inhale and stretch in as you exhale 1 more time. Now we bend both of our knees and we pull the knees into the chest. Place your hands on your knees and we'll rock from side to side. We're going to use the arms to create the rocking action. So you pull with one arm and you pull with the other arm, and your elbows are out to the sides, and they can act as a kickstand so you don't fall over onto your side. Something else that helps you not fall over onto your side is keeping your shoulders flat. So instead of turning your whole body like this, keep your head and shoulders flat down and move from the waist down. Try to relax your back while you do this. All right, and then we come back to the center and we'll start to circle around through our ankles, one direction, and then the other direction too. And then we're pointing and flexing our feet, feeling the stretch in the calves or the front of the ankle or the shin area, wherever you feel it. And then release one foot down, the other foot comes down, and we're going to do something similar with our wrists and our forearms, our hands, fingers, thumbs. You're still breathing, deep breathing through the nose. Now we're going to turn over. Before we do that, though, let's do this. Press side to side a couple times. All right. Make your way over onto your side and then push yourself up with your hands. Now we're coming around to a hands and knees position, in which case you'll probably want your folded towel underneath your knees. I know I prefer that. See how you feel about it. And then we'll either be on our flat palms like this, or if that's not comfortable, be up on your fists like this. We have our wrists directly underneath our shoulders, and our knees are directly underneath our hips. Now let's wag the dog. So that means your hips go to one side and your shoulders go opposite, and then we'll switch. Feel the weight shifting from one knee to the other, and feel the stretch on the sides of your body, maybe the sides of your hips, the sides of your upper arm, shoulder area. And if you have your palms flat, you may feel this in your forearms as well. One more. All right, and then we tuck the toes under. Inhale, nothing too extreme now. Exhale and sit back a little ways with your hips toward your heels. And then we'll do that again. So make sure you have plenty of padding underneath your knees. Can you feel the toe stretch that we're getting? Make sure it's not too extreme. One more time. And then we'll come back up, we'll untuck the toes, and then watch. Take a giant step forward with your hands. So your hands are no longer underneath your shoulders. And then we'll inhale, pick up your right hand. As you exhale, reach through to the left side of your space. Inhale to come back up. Your hands are forward. Pick up your left hand. Exhale, reach through to the right side of your space or your mat. Let's repeat. As you do this, I want you to feel the twist that's happening in your torso and feel the stretch that's happening in both arms. Different stretch for each side, but there's stretch happening in both arms. Try not to put too much weight on your head. We have 2 more. And the last one. And then we come back with our hips toward our heels. This time the tops of the feet are resting on the mat or the floor. And then we'll try child's pose, this easier version, or this harder version, or this even harder version. And I say harder because it just requires a little bit more intense joint angles. Doesn't mean there's more effort necessarily. Now let's stretch the arms fully out in front of us while keeping the hips as far back as you can. Your palms are flat, your hands are shoulder width distance apart. And then let's inhale and come forward. This is plank with the knees down, and then exhale back. Try to reach your arms fully forward. Inhale forward, your shoulders end up over the backs of your hands. Exhale back. 2 more. Make sure you're not collapsing or slumping into your plank pose. All right. Now we come forward this time and we'll stay here. So we're just going to hold. So watch. This is an easier version. This is a harder version. And then this is completely slumping and out of alignment. So either be here or here for an easier version. If you are here in the tougher version, keep breathing. Make sure that your shoulders are squared off and that as you get fatigued, you don't collapse down. So make sure, go to the easier version if you need to. All right, and then we'll sit all the way back. Now we'll take our right hand and place it gently on top of our left hand and just let our chest and head drop down. Now, if you're not sure where you should feel this, take a peek. You should feel it right through here, through some of your pulling muscles in your back, maybe into your upper arm as well on the right side. And then we'll bring our hands back to shoulder width, and then we'll place the left hand gently on top of the right, and we'll try to drop the face down, drop the chest down. Make sure that you're not creating pain in your shoulders. Bend your elbows a little bit, or have your hands closer to the center of the mat if you need to. Now let's separate our hands once again so they're shoulder width. All right, watch one time as we go. So just watch me one time. We'll inhale like this, and then we'll exhale right elbow, left elbow. And then we'll inhale right hand, left hand, and then we'll exhale back. And the next time we'll do the left elbow first, okay? Are you ready? So we're starting here. Let's do it together. Big inhale, keep the straight line with your body. Exhale, right elbow, left elbow down. Keep the straight line with your body. Inhale, right hand under your shoulder, left hand under your shoulder. Exhale back. How did you do? We're going to do it with the left side first this time. So inhale, get your straight line, left elbow. As you exhale, right elbow, and then left hand. Inhale, right hand. Exhale all the way back. Let's do it again. This time, right elbow first, right hand first, and all the way back. One more round. Keep the breathing happening. Left elbow, right elbow, left hand, right hand, and all the way back. All right, take a little break, relax, lie on your side if that's more comfortable than child's pose, lie on your back, lie face down, or just stay in child's pose. All of those are good. Remember to find your just right version of child's pose if you're doing it, so it fits your body. Now we'll come up one more time to our hands and knees. So once again, we have fists or palms, and then we'll inhale and lift the tailbone, and then exhale and drop the tailbone down. So feel it in your low back and your pelvis. So we'll keep the shoulders and the upper back out of the motion. Low back and pelvis are involved. Inhale, drop the tailbone and exhale. One more time. All right, and then we're coming to a neutral spine. Now we need to move this extra padding forward because we're going to be doing a kneeling side forearm plank. So that's a long, fancy title for this. All right, so let's get into it one step at a time. So you have your extra padding. You have your elbow directly under your shoulder. You have your body in more or less a straight line. So your thighs, your belly, your chest, your forehead, all in one straight line. Your knees are bent and your feet are stacked up behind you because that's going to help you stay stable from front to back. Now you can keep your top hand like this on the floor, again for stability from front to back, or you can raise your arm up. So make sure your elbow is in that same straight line as everything else. Here we go. Lift your hips up, or at least make them lighter. And then if you can, straighten your top leg and your top arm. So inhale, and then we'll exhale and come down. Your hand can be here if you'd like. Let's do it again. Inhale, stretch out, and then exhale. Shoulders away from ears. Inhale, exhale. Again. Two more. I hope you can still smile while you're doing this. It helps, makes it feel not so intense. Okay, stop there. Let's switch directions so we can still see each other. Let's do it this way. Line yourself up. So it's imperative that your elbow and your hip are not too far away from one another. So do have your elbow directly under your shoulder. Make sure you have that going on. All right. When you're ready, fingertips down or your arm can go up. Here we go. Inhale. Try and lift your hips if you can. And exhale. So if you're doing the option, it looks like this. You're trying to lift your hips, but you're not quite able to do it, but you're making them lighter. And then again, shoulders away from ears, push the ground away. And then slowly come back down. Try to fill out the shape that you're in fully. So you're going to reach away from your center and then fold back in. 3 more. One more. And we're down. All right, coming to the center for a moment, just sit with your legs folded. Sit up on your folded towel if you need to. Let's give our shoulders a roll up and back and down. And again. And one more, up and back and down. Now, we're coming back to lying on our back. So again, you have your pillow under your head if you need it. Otherwise, put your folded towel off to the side. Let's lie down. Take your time. Now, the first thing we'll do is we'll stretch the arms out to the sides with the palms up and the inner elbows up, and we'll push the shoulder blades down towards your tailbone. Now breathe into your chest. Earlier, we were emphasizing navel and rib cage and chest, but now emphasize the chest. Take a peek at me. If you can bend your elbows to 90 degrees or closer to 90 degrees while keeping the backs of your hands flat down like this, then go ahead and do that. Let's call that a goalpost shape. If you can't do this though without pain or without your shoulders coming off the floor, your hands coming off the floor, then go back to this straight out from your shoulders position. Make sure you're not constantly turning your head to look at me. And then we'll bring our arms out of their position and we'll pull the right leg in close to the chest and we'll straighten the left leg out along the floor. So pull in, flex your foot, flex your other foot, and try to move your legs in those two opposing directions as far as they can go. And then we'll bend the right knee and we'll take this inner edge of the right foot and place it against the inside of the left thigh. And we'll twist, once again, taking our right arm straight out from the shoulder, or once again, doing that goalpost shape with just your right arm. See which one of those two things works better for you. And then you can gently encourage your knee to get closer to the ground. You can also support your knee from underneath. Your head is in the center. You're still breathing. Now carefully bring your right arm down to your side. We're coming back to the center, and one final stretch here. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and push your right knee forward toward the foot end of your mat or your space. Or if it feels okay, bring your knees in. So you're either here holding the back of your left thigh, or you're here with your right hand pushing your right knee away from you. And then we'll take our right foot on the mat or the floor. We'll take our left leg up, flex your foot, straighten out your right leg now, flex that foot as well. Moving the legs in opposition to one another. Your head and your shoulder blades are down on the floor. And then we bend the left knee, we put the inner foot against the inner thigh, and we twist. The hips come up, and we're trying to stack one hip on top of the other. And then you have this option of straight left arm or bent, and your head is in the center. And then back to center we go, finishing this sequence by crossing your left ankle over your right knee and with your left hand pushing the knee forward or holding on to the back of your right thigh and pulling the legs in. And then we uncross the legs. Let's turn over to our side, and then we'll press ourselves up and we'll come to a comfortable seated position where you're sitting up on your folded towel if you need to. Otherwise, just sitting with your legs folded. Roll your shoulders back and down. So how do you feel now? Stretching our shoulders and arms, as well as creating more mobility in our torso and spine, can help us move better, perform better, and just feel better in our bodies, which is important. So thanks for joining me, and until next time, be well.